the reason for my bullishness on the smaller end of the market is this, that a $3.5 trillion economy, which India is, if you broadly divide it into uh, five areas, or let's say four areas, each area on the average, each zone is on the average, between $700 billion to about $1 trillion. So I think just the Western belt, Maharashtra and Gujarat alone must be maybe 1.2, $1.5 trillion. But on the average, they're between 700 to $1 trillion in size in terms of GSDP. Now that's a very interesting statistic, that just each part of India is equal to the GDP of a large country like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's GDP is $850 billion. I think UAE is about $450 billion. Turkey is about 850 to about $1 trillion. Each part of India is equal to the sizes of these economies in totality.
I think more and more money is flowing into India, and for that matter, other emerging markets. And I think you'll see a change, and I think it'll get better against the U.S. market. Even in the near term, of course, long term as well. Young population, technology being used more widely around India, all these factors are having an incredible impact. And at the bottom line, this incredible real growth. This high single-digit growth in India is quite remarkable for a country that size. So all these factors makes me quite optimistic. Now, of course, there'll be corrections along the way, but in the long term, we're in good shape in India.
This time, what we are talking about is 6 to 7% or 6.5%, 7% growth in the environment when the world economy is really at a standstill or going at 1 or 2%. So that's a real achievement. That delta growth of 4-5% over the global growth, that's the real strength of India at this juncture, and making it the largest, among the larger economy, fastest growing economy. So I think that's the unique thing which is happening. And you can see there are a lot of things which are happening in India which is very unique. Your current account deficit is under control. Service export is booming, stretching new highs. Your currency reserves are very good. So there are a lot of things which are unique this point of time. But whether it will sustain at 6.5%, 7%, my sense is that if world economy doesn't grow at about 2.5%, 3%, 3.5%, I think it will be a really huge achievement if you grow at about 7%.
The confidence on the long term is immense. As per IMF and various other agencies, India will become third largest economy in the next couple of years. This growth is driven by as much as government intervention as private sector. What makes us bullish on India story overall is 3G. 1, our earnings growth will be better than our peers. 2, our governance standards will be better than our peers. And 3rd, the green transformation. Our economy will lead green transformation. As long as India delivers on this 3G of growth, governance and green, my feeling is that investors will not be disappointed.
I would say that as an economy, India is in a sweet spot. And we have seen in the world, whether it is China or Japan or Korea or Taiwan before us, that when an economy starts to grow, it normally grows 30-35 years at a very rapid rate. And I think India is maybe 15-20 years in that cycle. So I would still believe that we are at least having a clear runway of 10-15 years of rapid growth. I think the government has been pushing for a lot of stuff over the last 4-5 years, GST and others, and then now you have a massive impetus on infrastructure spending, which is clearly visible. Obviously, there's short-term pain, but longer term, hopefully it will make our lives much more easier and the country more efficient. And I think going forward also, that pace seems to be continuing with a lot of zest. So given all this, I would say that this continuation of a decent move up for the Indian economy is for real, and markets are only following that.
We are actually the third largest economy in the world. So therefore, we are one of the biggest economies and which is going to grow at a meaningful rate. Second, with a superior quality of the growth, that gives predictability and longevity to growth. Third, that in turn results into compounding kind of a growth. Same growth but occurs in a briefer, shorter period, and it occurs over a longer period, the compounding is not fully appreciated, even though it is talked about so easily. That compounding over a longer term is a huge power, where what may look like a reasonable thing, but done repeatedly, relentlessly over a long run, can produce an outcome which is disproportionate to what that individual period, more kind of ordinary looking kind of a occurrence in each period.